I finally cracked the code with 100% procedural terrazoid system in Octane that actually looks and feels completely photorealistic. But the common belief, or the trap that most people think, procedural materials, especially in Octane or cycles, are a mass of math and spaghetti nodes that are impossible to control. Because of that, they settle for using PBR textures that break at high resolutions. But there's a flip to that. Here's the secret. If you treat your node trees like a Photoshop layered stack using the Composite Texture Node, you don't just get a material, you get a master control HUD with unlimited resolution. So I spent the last 45 minutes going through a whole procedural setup, stress testing it, and figuring all this stuff out so you guys do not have to. My name is Patrick LeVar. I've been using Blender Octane for the last 6 years and giving everything away and sharing it here on this YouTube channel, so consider subscribing. Enough of my jibber jabber, let's get into the video. I wanted to show you guys a little bit more of the power of the Composite Texture Node system, which we have here in Octane, that actually kind of reminds me of the Photoshop layer stack system. It's basically the same thing, but in 3D with nodes. So you can see here, I've got this trapezoid, tapozoid, or whatever they call it, trizapazoid, or whatever they call this style of material. This is fully procedural. And which is nice about it being fully procedural, I've got full control of it. If I quickly jump in here and show you guys the node setup here that we've got going on for this. The node system is actually not that complicated and also very clean because of the compositing node system, which I'm going to quickly show you. But let me just show you the power of something like this when you're using composite node textures. First of all, I've got this really nice node here called the layer group. And this allows me to take composite textures and put them all together, and I have like this master control hub. So for example, if I wanted to like change the hue of this, I can just enable this layer adjustment, and now I can just freely change the color of this, the hue, and then I can go and like, maybe I want to add some more contrast. We can buff up the contrast a little bit here. Let me just come in here slightly, make something realistic. There we go. We beefed up the contrast. Maybe we want to add some more brightness to it, do the brightness level. So again, we can play with the brightness or make it darker level, whatever. I have control all right here with this one node right here. This actually allows me to take these two other groups, which are the patterns, the large patterns and the smaller patterns. And for example, if I didn't want to just be happy with the hue, I can still come in here. Let me go ahead and just turn these off for a second here. We go ahead and enable these. Just the enable switches alone really helps you to play with different looks. So you can kind of see here, this is my main pattern right here. I have, for example, this Cinema 4D noise, and it's coming through here. This is our main mask. And this is what's nice and powerful about composite texture nodes. This composite texture node right here allows me to put in an opacity mask in and then have a separate input. So I basically have the mask here, and then we're piping that into the opacity, and then we want to colorize that. If I come up here, now we can colorize that, which is using, again, another Cinema 4D noise. Matter of fact, these are two different ones right here. And this is being passed through here with the color gradient map, and that's allowing me to add the color. So I can easily come in here and change my colors to whatever I want my colors to be, right? Very nice. And then on top of that, just to give me a little bit more control, I added a color correction node in just right here at this point. So maybe we wanted to just play with, let me turn this on, hit mask there. Maybe we wanted to play just with these individual chips. We can still do that from here and control contrast and gamma and things like that. Well, anyways, that gets all piped back in, and let's connect this back up. And that's how we can actually control more on a granular level, and we're not set to whatever color that we originally, like a PBR mask and or PBR texture, you're just set to those colors. Now we've got full proceduralness and control. And then again, I can jump down here to my second, which is basically these the streams in between these bigger stones here. If I show you the mask on that and what that's looking like, here is this slight gradient mask here. It's very subtle there. But if we jump in here, here are these little tiny specks, okay? So then in this gradient map here, we're also adding in a little bit of this cream color. You can see here, I'm adding that cream color in. And then these tiny little specks, I'm using a procedural flake node from Octane, which is really nice. And then I'm running that through a color ramp to give it that black and white value so we can use it as a mask again. And then we plug that into the opacity, and then we come out of here and we can control it again, I put another color correction node there. And let's click this back up. And now if I mute just this top section, we'll see just this is the bottom section that we've got going on here. I've got a little bit of that cream color, which you can't really tell because it's very subtle. But if I come in here and change that, you can see there it is. That is that cream color that I have in there mixed with this slight off-white color there too also that I've got going there. So again, control, we got the color ramp if we want to control those there too. From there, I've got these little dots also that I have in here, which we can't see. Let me go ahead and get those fired back up. Let me turn this back on. So there it is. We've got all that little stuff happening there. In between there, we have those little dots, which were coming from here, these little tiny dots here. Now, also, again, since those are a mask, I can easily come over here to our composite texture. This is the composite texture, which is plugged into the albedo, right? This allows me to group all of these layers together. And this is where the magic happens. Once I have these all grouped together in this composite texture, you can see I've got 3 different masks and textures coming through this one into the albedo slot. And then, which I didn't mention before, if I come back up here, each one of these composite texture nodes where I put in the opacity and the input allows me to change mathematic blends. These are just like in Photoshop. If you look here, we've got add, above, multiply, darken, linear, color dodge, all of these, right? Even stuff that I've never even heard of. If I jump out and show you the full list, look at the list. We've got all kinds of different types of stuff. Filmic, spectral, translucent, masking, all kinds of different ones, right? So that's where the math happens. And that's where it reminds me of Photoshop, where we're basically, it works in that layered stack format, where if you look here, we do have our layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. And again, what's on top and then next one on top, and it works on top. So layer 1 is the bottommost layer, and then layer 2 is next, and then layer 3 is on top. It just really makes it easy to start stacking layers on top instead of having to do mixed nodes to mixed nodes to mixed nodes to mix different mixed materials. This is a lot more easy to manage, and then grouping those into a layer group system then allows me to have more control, because now that I got those groups, I can do, for example, if I add another input, I can come in here and use all of the compositor adjustments on top of these layers. Control brightness, color brightness, contrast, exposure, hue, saturation, gamma, all that, opacity, other operators from the Octane compositive system are now accessible to me within this layer group, which is basically allow me to get control of all of this, which is insane, and it's really cool, of this composite texture system that is hardly ever utilized by a lot of people who use Octane, even me. I had to go back and watch a lesson from one of our members in our community who posted this. Alex, I got to give props where props are due. Alex basically is a wizard with the composite texture node. Like, he makes really cool stuff. This is the tutorial that I followed. This is available in the Classroom for Prime members, and you can also go to Alex's website, I mean not website, but his YouTube channel, and he's got some stuff that he's made exclusively for us. He put it in the community, which I'm so grateful for in our early days of when we hardly had anybody in the community. To continue on this, I wanted to show you now again, like what we did with the whole albedo texture, right? The look, we can do that same thing with the bump. So again, adding in another composite texture, and then just start stacking those layers of details as far as what we want to do for the bump. So for example, if we go to the base layer, if we go to the bottom of our whole stack here, we have these chips. And if you look here, I've got these little tiny chips happening right in here. And that's just, again, that's coming through a noise texture. Here is the noise texture. And then that's going through a gradient map, just so we can compress it and push it down, right? And then we've got that's it. That's our little tiny chips here. And then we run that through here into our composite texture layer, and boom, there it is. Now it's going through the bump, and we've got it in here, and I just reversed the values here on the color ramp so it goes in instead of out, because you can see white to black. So once I've got that, then I want to put some more on top. I want to stack, again, just using the Photoshop stacking stuff, right? Here's our next composite texture, and again, another noise texture. I can quickly show you what that looks like. It's a little bit more smooth, and then I run it through the gradient map, and then crunch those values down, and then plug it in here. And then once we do that, we're going to turn that back on here, and then boom, then you're going to see there it is. We got this subtle little roughness here, and I can always come in here and tweak the values if I want it to be a little bit more rough, a little bit more detailed. I've got so much control here I can do there. And then I can even control the opacity of that. Like there's 0, and then if here's 100%, right? So I can control that. And then on top of that, I wanted to layer another stack, which we have on top, which is the main pattern, this main cutout. this also has, which is already on, I didn't turn it off, but here is that right here. See, there it is, turned off and then turned back on. And all I did was I just took that original mask that we had for these big pieces, which is right here, piped that out and just piped that into its own texture. There's the input, and then boom, now I can control that top bump for the big stones there. If we want that to come out, we can just easily control that. So again, we had to do some math here. So if you look at these are both here in normal, so they're just right on top of each other, normal, because this one was inverted to white and this one was black. And then if you come here, this one originally was in normal. We don't see it, like it's not working. So that's where we need to do the Photoshop math. So we can just come in here and we just scroll. Actually, let me jump off of that. We come in here and we go to masking plus. I want to plus it over, and then boom, there it is. It appears, and then I got control of that with this slider here too. So again, this is just to show you the power of the compositing texture and the systems that you can build to basically have this awesome looking material, which you could use a PBR material, but you're going to be limited to the resolution of that. Where I've got this, I can put it on anything that I need to, change the colors. I got so much more control. You can really see the power of going procedural, and not just building procedural, but just using the composite texture system. Gives you that control and the Photoshop stacking layers. And it's fantastic. One other thing though you need to be wary of when you do use this, since I did have to do a slight UV unwrap on this here. If I quickly show you and jump in here, you'll see I did a slight UV unwrap on that. There it is. There's the seam, and then, you know, go down there in the bottom, and in the bottom here, cut it out. And you'll get some weird stretching on the sides if you don't bake the texture. So what I basically do is where every procedural texture is, I just do a quick bake. I bake that texture so it can basically be straight. So for example, let me see if I can come in here. And if I mute this, let's see if it shows up here on the sides. UV issues here. Let's see. Let me plug it into here. There it is. Now you can see it right there, right? Boom. You'll have this stretching, right? So all you need to do is this, you know, mark your seams on your thing. Throw this bake texture in between your procedural noise, right after your procedural noise. Just throw this in here, right? And then that's going to knock that out real quick. It's a very simple fix right there. Just throw that in there and boom. And now, boom, I'm right back at it. So it's nice and clean right there. So just want to run this through this little system for you guys. I will have this available for the members down in the community. I'll put the file in there so you guys can play with it. I definitely recommend jumping in there, just looking at the setup, playing with it, trying to break it. The tutorial he put in the class was about 20 minutes. But it took me about 45 because I really wanted to break down and see why is this doing? What is it doing? We're back. Just see the powers of using composite textures. So definitely this will be available for the Prime members, and the free members, you guys can take a look at this video and then walk through and start playing with it, and hope you guys learn something. All right, guys. Peace.